shall we jump in? Do you want to jump in?
Yeah, let's just do it.
Okay.
Welcome to Witchcast.
'Cause it's Witchcast.
I'm Emily.
I'm Kate.
And we're your hosts of this, the Witchcast podcast.
That's right, where you're learning, growing, ever-evolving novice witches here to explore everything under the woo-woo, esoteric, spirituality umbrella.
Yeah, the mystical umbrella of life. And
Yes.
we have a guest today.
Yes, we have a very special guest. I'm so excited. I actually met her through the Access Consciousness, Access Bars workshop that I took with Emily Grote a couple months ago. She's a wonderful, super talented, lovely person and an energy and consciousness practitioner. Please welcome Muertos.
Hi, everyone.
Yay.
I'm really excited to be joining you today.
Thanks for being
This
here.
is my very first time in a podcast. Yeah, I'm really excited.
Oh, welcome.
Yeah.
So happy to have you. Where are you physically right now? Because I know you've been traveling a bit.
Yeah, right now I'm living in New York City. I was born and raised in Mexico, and I have also lived here in the United States in New Hampshire. I have lived in many cities around Mexico, also in some places in Europe, in Germany, and right now I'm settled and based in New York, and I'm loving the city.
Yeah,
yay!
That's great. Yeah, how long have you been living in New York?
I came like 5 months ago in June. Yeah. June.
Oh wow! Oh well, welcome.
Welcome,
you know?
welcome. It's so funny that we're all in the same city, but we're still doing a remote video record.
Yeah.
Well, we should all get together in person someday. Maybe we'll do another bars class together or something.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah. So tell me about your practice. You are an energy and consciousness practitioner. So what does that mean for you?
Okay, so what I do is I do sessions and classes to people about energy and consciousness. The practice that I do is really unique and authentic, I would call it that way, because I started in the past just doing Akashic records, and that was my first introduction to energy work. Then I found out about access consciousness, and I started to learn a lot about astrology, numerology, quantum physics, and so many tools that I cannot remember at the top of my head right now. I started just giving Akashic record sessions to friends just for fun. And then a lot of people was telling me like, oh, I told a friend about you and they want to take it. And you know how that works. And then all of a sudden I had like a really busy agenda. A lot of people wanted to have Akashic records readings. But since I started learning a lot of tools and different things, I was like, okay, but I want to give them more, not just an Akashic records reading. And that's why I came out with my own practice. I have my own special practice, which I call it an integral session, which is one-on-one. And I let the energy guide me and use all of the tools that I have learned in my life. And I just like give out all the information that the energy has to give using different tools, and it's really fun. They're really unique, and each session that I do to every person is really different. Even if it's the same person, their second or third session will be also really different, and that's what I love the most, because I got to create something of my own and like be authentic with it, and not just got stuck in one simple technique, but in the opposite, I decided to use all of the techniques that I know, and the energy just tells me what to do during the session.
So cool. I love that.
That's super awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long?
Oh, you go first.
Sorry.
Sorry.
No, you go, Emily. You go.
Oh, I was just going to say, how did you get involved in the first place with like reading Akashic records and that kind of thing? Like, were you always sort of the kind of person that was interested in that, or like was there a moment where you got interested, or how did it all start for you?
Okay, so this is a really interesting story. I used to be the girl that was afraid of the tarot cards, that I was like so skeptical. I didn't believe in anything. I was recently graduating from college as an engineer, as a food scientist. So I was like, that was not for me at all. And then I had some mental health problems and physical health problems. Uh, and as soon as I graduated, I was working, and then it was like a big chaos in my life. I decided to leave everything. Like I left everything behind, my job, my career, the all that I have grown in my. I was independent at the moment, and I left it, and I went back to my parents' house, to my hometown, and I decided to decide on myself and like, okay, it's time for me to have my own time, and I started to heal. I started to, okay, let's see what I can do for me. And I took the first ever session that I took was a theta healing session. And I took it and I was like, what is this? Like, I want to know how they are able to do that. Like, because I have always been that person that really loves to study and like really likes to know like the things, like as a scientist, I really love like to
Mm-hmm.
investigate and stuff. So I loved the energy work that was made for me that day on with Theta Healing. So I was like, okay, I need to know how they do this. I want to do it as well. And that same week, I had like one appointment each day with a different energy work healer with different techniques. So I was literally like for 3 months taking for myself like different sessions to heal myself, and I started working, I started believing, and then all of a sudden one of the I took the Akashic record sessions for myself too, and that person told me like, I can see that you have a lot of talent, you are like a natural channel, like why don't you let me teach you? And I was like, oh, like skeptical. And I was like, okay, I'm not doing anything. I'm just focusing on myself. So I'll just take it. We'll see. And that's how everything started. And the story after that is like I kept learning, and I'm still learning. I started with also with access consciousness, which I love. I love so much that technique. It's like wow, like ever since access consciousness, everything started to move in my life. Because before that, I was just like doing inner work. But when I started access, everything started to move, and everything was updating in my life so quick. Everything of this happened within a year. And right now, I'm already a facilitator of access. I'm about to give my first bars class this month, and
Oh
it's
wow,
so
that's great.
exciting. Like
Wow.
1 year ago, I was just in my room, everything was left behind, and I was just like, what am I gonna do with my life? I have to like find a job, but I don't know what to work at. And I just started following the energy, and the energy also brought me here to New York City. And I moved with my partner. Actually, we both moved from Mexico to New York City, and we are both here in this adventure.
I love it.
That's
Exciting.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So that was my question was like how when was this journey? But it was fairly recent. So you said this is about a year ago kind of is when things really kicked off.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's incredible. That's
literally
incredible.
1 year ago, I had my first session for myself, like an alternative session. And since that moment, I haven't stopped. And everything is like so quick. Like I'm a manifester, so I literally like if I want something, it's like okay, right now, And yeah, it literally changed my life. And right now, I'm like so happy because I get to live the life I want, and I also get to be contribution for a lot of people around the world. Because my sessions when I moved here, I was still in the Mexican mindset that I was giving my sessions for like a lot less money. Being here made me to be more confident about myself because a lot of people from New York wanted to take my sessions. I was like, okay, I'm gonna give them to them, and I started to have better prices. And right now, I make this as my job. Like this is what I live from. And before that, it was just a hobby.
Yeah.
That's
Awesome.
great.
I love
That's
that. And
wonderful.
also, like, huge plug for Emily Grote's Access Bars class in there, too. I really want to take it.
Yes.
I am jealous that you guys have. It sounds like fun.
Yeah, it is. It is really. It's so interesting. And we talked about access bars with Emily Grote. We had her on our last season. She's been on the podcast a few times now. We love her. It is, and taking this was when you and I met at the class. That was my first experience taking that class, like actually practicing it. Emily had done run my bars, as they say, on me, and it felt amazing. Um, so, but there's also there's Access Consciousness is a larger like not corporation, I guess, but like they're a company, and they have practitioners and teachers and facilitators all throughout the country and the world, actually. And so if you're not in New York, you can look into Access Consciousness online and find a workshop near you. And all you need to do, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mieros, but you just take one workshop in order to practice,
Yeah.
and then you have to take from three different teachers in order to become a facilitator. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And you also have to take foundation, I think. I'm not sure. But it's amazing. All the classes are amazing. I really recommend to everyone that has like that has uh, uh that has the interest to get to know more about Access, and they're just like, should I take it or not? Just take it. It's gonna be
Yeah.
so much contribution in your life, and not only if you wanna like get paid to run the bars for people, you can also just do it for yourself, because you get to learn a lot of different tools and then different energy tools that will help you in your life and will be a lot of contribution.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. Yeah, because I personally have no interest in becoming a professional practitioner. But I loved learning about it and learning more about it, being able to then practice. Even like I was having a hard time sleeping the other night, and
Yeah.
I just like touched my head, and I was like repeating the clearing statement, and so I think it's definitely super helpful. And I've already I've run bars on a couple of my friends and on my husband, just to be like, I learned this new thing, let me try it on you. It's really accessible, actually. I don't know. Have you done Reiki at all, Mieros?
I have never done it myself, but I have had some people gave me
Yeah.
Reiki sessions. I love it too.
I like to
Yeah.
describe bars as like a combination of like Reiki meets like acupressure,
Yeah.
or like Chinese traditional medicine, even like with the different points on the head. Like it's not intimidating at all. Like it was very accessible and very easy to learn. They set you up well in that class.
Yeah, very cool.
So you mentioned Akashic Records, Access Consciousness. You've now been also interested in learning about tarot and astrology. What are some of your, and you say you combine all of your learnings to create this like unique, custom, energy work that you practice. And you called it a something session. Can you tell us again what the name of that session is called?
I have been trying to find a better name, but for now I just call it the integral session, because I integrate everything that I know, and since I'm learning different things every day, I just keep it like that. But I'm gonna try to find a better name.
I love that. I think it's great.
Yeah. Very cool.
So what other are there? Can you tell us a little bit about Akashic Records, because we have had a guest on in the past, Laura Lucas, who runs Akashic Records, but we haven't really talked to in depth about it. What is like a simple explanation for what that means for people who have never heard of it?
Okay, so Akashic Records are, it's like, okay, let me think about it in English. I'm sorry.
Throwing you a curveball, I know.
I've never explained this in English. I'm just thinking about it. Okay, so whenever you have an Akashic Records session, you will get to have access to your soul memory. Like you get to have access to the book of your life, and in this book you will find information about your past lives, your present life, and also your future lives. You can ask whatever you want to ask regardless in your life, and you don't even have to ask also, because since the connection is made from energy and from the ascended masters, the information that you need to hear at the moment will just come out. It's just like when I was doing just Akashic records readings, the people would just show up and I'll be like, hi, this is me. Okay, let's start. And I literally just start talking to them through the energy and just tell them what they need to know. What I personally love about Akashic records and everything that I learned from making these lectures is that energy is so specific, like sometimes I will be even like, wow, like how was able to tell this person this that is so specific about their lives, and this is the first time I have ever seen them, you know.
That's awesome. That's
Interesting. Really
incredible.
cool. Yeah. And so you learned that from someone who, like, you were doing different energy work, and they were just like, you seem like you've got a knack for this. Why don't you come with me and I'll show you?
Yeah, literally, that's what how it started. I was just doing it for fun, and to be honest, in Mexico, there's like a little, well, we don't have a lot of culture about all of these practices. It's still really like a taboo, you know. And at the beginning, I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I was keeping it as a secret, you know. I just told my
Mm-hmm.
boyfriend and my best friends, and I was just giving them sessions. And then they were like, "But Miros, I have a friend that really wants to have it," and they also believe in that, so they won't judge you. And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna give a session to them," you know. And I remember I was doing this for like 6 months until I told my family, and the minute I talked to them about this, they were so excited and everyone wanted to have one session. I was like so surprised, you know. And since then, they all have been really into energy working and like spiritual healing and everything. And it's amazing, like getting to see like how scared I was, and when I had the confidence to tell everyone what I was and what I was doing, it was a lot of contribution for them.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's
That's so
really cool.
nice. Yeah. Very cool. So you also, one thing we were talking about before we started recording was just so Dia de los Muertos just passed, but also, and you've been doing some sort of work with like death and mediumship and stuff like that. So why
Yep.
don't you tell us more about that?
All right. Okay. So, yeah, Dia de los Muertos just passed. It's celebrated every year in November 1st and November 2nd. This is a really huge tradition in Mexico, and I was raised within this tradition. And every year we will go to the cemetery to bring food and bring gifts and sometimes even music, like literally like group bands to all of our uh, dead family to give them like respect, you know, like it's like a big party, a big celebration. And also in school we always used to make the altares del Día de Muerto, and we will make put like the food of the people, and it's like a big thing, like really big thing. It's really surprising when I started to move to different countries how no one was doing it. I was like, wow, like I thought this was like a worldwide thing, you know, and it's not. It's just,
Yeah.
If only.
yeah, I was like really surprised. I
Yeah.
remember that I was doing myself like I was the first time I moved. I was living here in the United States in New Hampshire, and on the Dia de los Muertos, my grandma has just had just had just recently passed, so I made myself an altar in my own house for her, you know, and everyone was like, "Wow, that's so cool!" and and I remember it was so funny because people were asking me like, "What are you gonna do with the food?" And I'm like, "It's for her, you know, like it's it's just for her, you know, like there's nothing to do with that food." And they're like, "Oh, but can I eat it later?" You know, they were like, "No, I you cannot eat that."
No,
No.
no, no.
Yeah, and right now, like since ever since I started to work with energy, and I have had the opportunity sometimes in my sessions, I get to channel uh, transcended people. Transcended people, that's how you say it?
You mean like deceased,
Yeah,
like dead people?
yeah. Okay. Ever
Yeah.
ever since I started to work with energy, sometimes during my sessions, I get to have the opportunity to channel people that have deceased and has is dead in the physical world. And for me, it is a really interesting energy because I think it's the energy that is the more fun for me, you know, because every time I get to channel that people is really like a lot of expansion for me, and I get to have like a really good mood, you know, and it's amazing how they are really specific when they talk to their family members or to their friends. Um, I know, well, I'm sure for you don't, but for a lot of people this is really scary, like, oh, like you talk,
Mhm.
like that people try talk from you, and I'm like, no, it's okay, like it's so much fun, I love it, because I definitely love it. Every time that I get to channel the people, I love it. It's uh how can I call this? It's like a really warm and welcoming energy. Every time I do it,
Oh, that's
it
great.
feels like if they were hugging me and like giving me like thank you for contributing. Thank you for being the contribution for us to have this conversation. And
Mhm.
it's really surprising because I have also had the opportunity to channel um, some family members that have died, and that I was thinking, I remember when the first time that happened, I was being like, no, but I really don't want to do it because it's my family, that will be like so sad. And it was the total opposite. It was so much like joy and warmth, and it's amazing, like really, like everything that people have to tell their family, it's like so much love. Something that I realized while doing this is that I needed to have like more knowledge about how to address these channels, because you're treating with people that had just lost a family member, and sometimes for me it can be like so much fun, but probably for them it's like a hard moment still.
Mhm.
That's why I just started to take one class about the death, and this is all about how to manage the energy of the dead people and how to address it of the best way for the people that is getting the message. And and we are also learning not only about that, but we are also learning on how to talk to the entities, like not just in a channel reading. Also, you
Mhm.
can talk to them every day, like anything that you need to ask them, they are such a big contribution, and they can literally, you can ask them for money if you want, and they give you money. Like, and literally, like every time that since I started with this journey, I was a little scared at the beginning, but then one day I learned about this. Every time that I feel that someone wants to say something like within me, if I'm not in session, I'll be like, okay, but not now. You can only do it during this time, during this day, and if I do it, you have to give me this amount of money. And they literally give me the money. Like, I'm not joking. Yeah, they're
Wow.
like,
You have dead clients. I love
yeah,
it.
it's amazing. Yeah,
I mean, they say like people that do that kind of work, I feel like talk a lot about the importance of drawing boundaries like that, where it's like, because if you just let people
yeah.
walk all over you, even dead people,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
too
Office
much.
hours, office hours.
It can be very overwhelming. But yeah, having specific times and requirements is
Yeah.
positive, I
Yeah, at the
think.
beginning, I remember that they used to do it on the nights, and I was like, no, not now, because I want to sleep. And I learned not to be afraid of them, and there's nothing to be afraid of them. They're literally there just to give messages on, or to help their families or their friends. They just there for a good purpose. Like, they will never harm you. And this is also
Mm.
one thing that I'm learning in this new energetic course that I'm taking. And I think the most important thing that I'm learning from this course is not only that, but also learning to have my own funeral. Because us as persons, we everything we live throughout the years, we are like having little deaths every day. And to be able to honor those little deaths that you are having within your life is the best way you can honor yourself. It's like being really thankful with the person you used to be, but you're not anymore, and giving permission to the new version of yourself to glow and to keep growing. Because this, like everyone in our lives, we are having little deaths every time, even from what you were yesterday and when you are today. Because we are, every time we're taking like very different elections in our life, and it's taken us to different places that probably we were not thinking about it before. So yeah, this is like, this energy has been a lot of helpful for me. I was just entering the course because I wanted to learn about the connection and how to talk with dead people like in a better way, and how to treat in a better way to my patients, you know. But then when I was like, okay, yeah, I have to honor myself too, because I'm dying to every time, like every once in a while I'm dying. And you know how the energy of that is of the dead is seen as something like really like don't talk about it. This is something that you don't want to talk about. This is something scary, but this is something that is present in every day that we live. And it's not just physical death, you know. We also have spiritual death, and we are reinventing ourselves every day. And I really love it. And I really like I have done so much work within this course, and it's been mainly like to honor what I was, because you know how sometimes we are trying to achieve something in life and we're like super positive and we really want to reach it, but I realized that sometimes we are not able to reach our goals because our past versions of ourselves that we haven't given them like the tribute that they need and like the closure, they are still there like trying to pull us, you know.
That is
Yeah. Wow. I love that. That's, yeah, because we're all sort of like followed
Yeah,
around by the ghosts of like our former selves and what they wanted and that kind of thing, you know? And like they're standing there going, but couldn't we have done that? And you're like, no, we're doing this. We're good. It's great. And, you know, like, thank you for being here and getting me to now, but
yeah,
that's not
yeah,
it anymore.
definitely.
yeah.
You
I
know?
that's really meaningful. I'm sorry, I'm just like kind of taken aback by that because I think it's so beautiful, the idea of having little funerals for yourself, that concept. I mean, and it's such a healthy and um light focused way, I feel like, of viewing death and viewing change. I think, so many cultures, and including American culture specifically, I think is very scared of death, very, like you said, very fearful of it, don't talk about it, it's very sad. I mean, even the death card in tarot has such, people are so scared of that. And we also,
Yeah. Even though
right,
it
and
really means
exactly, and
like
that's,
a
and I
change, you
think
know?
that's what it is, right? And what you're saying actually echoes a lot of what Emily Grote has said on our past episodes of, and I know what Emily also likes to profess is that death is not loss, it's change. Like that someone dying doesn't mean the end of them forever. It's a change. It's and when you're able to communicate with entities, with people who have passed on, what a beautiful way to look at life, and what a beautiful way to think about energy is that there is no loss. It's not forever. It's done. There's no final um finish line. It's just, it shifts, it changes, it morphs, it evolves. There's so much change that we go through in our lives, like you said, and I sometimes mourn who I used to be, but I've never thought about doing that officially. That's like really lovely. Like what a wonderful, kind, compassionate send off to be like, goodbye, thank you. And I have morphed into now this butterfly of who I am now. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I like to see that as
Mm-hmm.
transformation.
Yeah. Transformation. Yeah.
Yeah. On the topic of, how America is especially, but I mean, a lot of places are, but America in particular, very afraid of death, and like I read a really great book that I just wanted to recommend to anyone who's interested in that stuff, called Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, about the funeral industry, that is very,
Smoke gets in
very
your
cool.
eyes.
I'm trying to remember the name of the writer. But yeah, it's like funny, and it's about like a lady who kind of at a point in her life where she didn't know what else she was doing, takes a job working at a
Crematorium?
cremator what was, crematorium. It was like crematorium. Yeah. Anyway, so she, and it just and becomes like a funeral director and stuff like that. But it's very funny, and it's very informative about like, different funeral traditions from around the world, but also like the ways in which we avoid it
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
completely here.
It's I mean, I think
Highly
loss,
recommend.
I mean, transformation is painful in itself, right? Change is painful in itself. Loss is still painful in itself. And I think people get upset about the idea of viewing death as not, as a transformation versus a total loss, in a way, can feel like you're trying to deprive the meaning of that death, because like it does mean something really profound when someone passes on, when you lose someone. But something that
Mm.
Emily Groh has
Hmm.
said, and I feel like wonder if her ears are ringing, because we're talking about her so much. But I know
She's
she's
sneezing
totally,
wherever she is.
um,
Yeah.
she has the hiccups. I took a psychics and mediums class with her, a psychic development class with her before I took Access Bars, and something she said was that we qualify birth and death as one is wonderful and great and a celebration, and one is terrible and awful and the word in a tragedy. But that's the meaning we as humans assign to birth and death. They are both essential. They are both parts of life. They are both inevitable. Um, and the fact that we give them that value is just purely from our own perspective. So I think about that a lot. It's easier said than done to unlearn, you know, the like you said, you were raised with this mentality of, celebrating deaths, honoring your loved ones, not being afraid of those who have passed. So it's a little hard for me to let go of that fear. Have you ever had an experience where you felt afraid? What are some things that you like to do to kind of work beyond with your fear?
Okay, so you're talking about the death, the fear of death.
Fear of, yes, I think all of it, right? Fear of death, but also fear of ghosts and demons, fear of losing someone in your life. Like I think there's a lot of fear attached to the idea of death overall. And so you've talked about how it's actually when the way that you approach death and communicate with people who have died is full of warmth and love. Have there been instances where you have felt afraid and had to work through that?
So yeah, about the fear of death, I think I was a person that used to be really afraid of death, mainly because there have passed away many people in my family recently and in the
Mm.
past. So since I was a little child, really close people has been dying in my life, and I remember that I used to be really sad about it and like having like all the grief. But then a lot that helped me was our Mexican traditions. To be honest, we make them a party, like when literally in the funeral is like a big gathering and like a family party, and we all will bring food. And every year that Dia de los Muertos comes, we make them a party again. And right now, like we have like
Hmm.
probably like 6 people from my family that have passed away, and we make them all 6 like this big party, and it's like their party, and like every year we're like, oh, now they join them, like like they are all together. So it's great because it's not by himself. Recently, one of my nieces passed away, and he was just 2 years old, so it was really really hard.
Hmm.
And
Oh.
but we were like, okay, but
Hmm.
it's okay because his grandma is over there, and also like his uncle and and this gives me a lot of warmth. And also, of course, like
Hmm.
having to have a lot of these experiences in my life, I have personally have a lot of fear to lose the people that I love, like my parents or
Right.
my boyfriend or something. Like I think I have that fear more for the people that I love than from me.
Mm.
And but something that I am making peace with is that even ourselves, we have the election to decide when we want to die. I know this is hard to listen, but we literally make the election for when we want to die. Even if this is not
Mm.
in a conscious way, it can be unconscious, but you decide when you want to do it. And it's not like it's not something to be afraid of. It's something that it's even written before you were even born. When we uh, when we were born, you already decided when are you gonna die and everything. So something that helped me with this fear is to be acknowledge that everyone decides when they want to live, but the best thing that I can do about is to enjoy the moment that I have with them today. And also me, like I'm here today, but when I don't know when I'm going to decide it, and it can be probably like who knows, like in a minute, like so. This is something I have personally been working on because it was really when I started with this energy, I was really scared of death, really really scared. Even though I was channeling
Hmm.
people that had passed away, I was scared. Like I will be thinking like, oh, but if my mom dies or if someone dies, but getting to know how this energy works and like literally access consciousness has taught me a lot about this. There's a class that is called talk to the entities, and it talks all about how to talk to all the people that have passed and how is the energy of
Hmm.
death. And really something that I have learned is that we all decide when are we gonna die. It's like, have you ever
That's
heard
wild.
of
Mm.
sometimes when someone passed away and that they have been like saying goodbye to everyone in a way, like they decided to go and meet someone before they died, and like they had like a special moment, and even though it was not conscious, like the soul knows, so they were like doing stuff so they can, before they passed away, they do everything they want to do. Like since, like I told you, I have lost
Wow.
like several members of my family, and literally like I can like, it's really surprising when I look back and I realize like, wow, before my uncle passed, he did this, and he hadn't done it in a lot of time, and he just did it before he was gonna pass, you know, and
Yeah.
Hmm.
it's really surprising. Like if you ever, when, I don't know if you guys have lost someone in your lives, but if you analyze the situation, you get to see that everything is an election.
Mm. That's
Mm.
so fascinating.
Interesting. It's not something I've thought about before. Yeah. Um, yeah, definitely have to think about. That's a thinker.
Yep, I think,
But
I do think though, I've heard a lot of stories and I've seen this too of unconsciously, people like, oh, they reached out and I hadn't heard from them, or we got this letter, or they did, something, and then if I had only known, but it's almost that idea of the soul knowing is very interesting, that their time is coming, and just kind of, that's like a very lovely, comforting thought in a way. I love that. I
yeah.
want to go back really quick to Dia de los Muertos, because the idea of the party is so wonderful to me. So I wanted to just kind of educate our listeners, for those who might not be familiar with the holiday, just a little bit more about the details. So you said it's celebrated November 1st and 2nd every year. And that's the idea that it's like the darkest days of the year, or like when do you know why it's picked on why we pick those days to celebrate?
Okay, to be honest, I don't know why they picked those days. Probably there's like a story behind with all the Mexican culture. Something that I know is that the 1st of November is celebrated for the children that has passed away, and the second is for the grown-ups. And
Okay.
and
Hmm.
it's this is not a like a hard celebration, like it's not a dark celebration, it's a really happy celebration. Like literally it's like parties, we are like, oh, it's going to be Dia de los Muertos already, okay, let's plan to do the altars, and let's plan to make some food, and should we bring a musical group, or what should we do, it's like a big party. And like everyone, it's amazing
Yes.
how we literally get to sit and talk about them. And like literally every Dia de los Muertos this year, I was not in my house back in Mexico, but every year that I am in Mexico, every Dia de los Muertos is just like it's like if we were all sitting together with all of the people that have passed away in our family or the friends, and we are just talking about them and about all the things that we remember about them and the happy moments that we live with them, And something that this celebration has taught me a lot is that you have to remember everything that makes you happy uh, with them, like in the life. Like every happy moment that you remember with them, that's
Right.
the thing that stays, Like every bad
Right.
moment or hard, difficult moment that you had with them, it's gone. Just the happy moments are here, and this is way we remember them every year that Dia de los Muertos comes by.
I love that.
I love that. And then in terms of like the actual like process of what the day looks like, just again for people that might not know, I feel like a lot of people have now seen Coco at the very
Yes.
least, which probably changed a lot of people's level of understanding. But so you have like an altar, and you leave like offerings for the people, and of like the stuff that they maybe loved to eat or drink during life, and then and you kind of like, do you just leave it on the altar for a few days, or how long? What do you do with it? You're like, what does the day look
Yeah.
like? So you
Okay, I feel like this is kind of like Halloween, you know, because Halloween you celebrate throughout the month. You start with the decorations and
Mhm.
everything. This is same for Dia de los Muertos. Like during the all the month of October, we start with preparing the altar. Like it's just like putting your Christmas tree, you know. So you like prepare it, and then you
I love
start
that.
setting it
Yeah.
up, and it's gonna be set like at the beginning of October, and it's gonna be there for like October, and then until Dia de los Muertos. And yeah, and we also have this amazing food that we eat in Dia de los Muertos, which is the pan de muerto, which means the bread of dead. But it's amazing. It's like I love it. I don't know if you guys have tried it, but really, really, I recommend for you trying it. It's really popular in this holiday, and we also put the pan de muerto in the altars, and it's in schools. They also go really big. Like uh, for starters, we don't have classes those days, so it's like a national holiday because you get to have
Amazing.
the time to go to visit your dead family. And in before those
Mhm.
days or after, like in that week, we in school we always do celebrations. Like I remember being a kid and having to bring to school like different things to do the altar. I remember we used to do like a contest between the all the group classes, like first grade versus second and third, you know. And we will all get to have one celebrity that have passed away, and we will do them like the altar, and then the best altar will win, you know. And we will all be yeah, it's
That's so
amazing.
fun.
we
Yeah.
all we all be dressed up as a calavera, which is kind of like a calavera, how do you say that?
Is it like the
Yeah,
skeleton, right? It's like it's like the famous face paint
yeah,
that we see now
yeah,
everywhere.
yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like something that I have dressed up as before. It's like really typical, and we have like a day for Dia de los Muertos in school too, like growing up. And all in the specific day, the either the first or the second, you already have done like all of this stuff that I told you during October in school and in your house. But in the Dia de los Muertos, you get to go to the cemetery. You get to go and be there for hours in their graveyard
Yeah, graveyard, yeah.
in
And like by their graves,
graveyard.
you
Yeah,
like you set up like a picnic,
yeah,
right? And there's food and music. It's like a big
yeah.
barbecue, but at a
Yeah, and
cemetery.
we
Yeah.
bring like some of the things that we put them on the altar at home, but sometimes we always bring new ones because they are not as fresh. And we also make
Yeah.
like food, you
Makes
know, like
sense.
if my grandma used to love pozole a lot, so we make like a big soup, big pozole, like a big olla, sorry, like a big bowl of pozole, and we will all be on the
Like a pot,
cemetery,
yeah.
Mm.
all the family sitting eating pozole, and we also bring pan de muerto, champurrado, chocolate, caliente, like many things. And it's amazing because the cemeteries those days are full of people, like so full. Like it's like a big party, big celebration. And like I told you, like the some of the families decide to bring musical groups, and there's literally like bands in there, like playing
That's
music, people are
awesome.
dancing, and you know, like it's amazing. It's like a party, like I told you.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And oh,
I wish we
I
did
know.
that. That's so
I wish
great.
more cultures celebrated it like that because it sounds amazing. And so I also know that the idea too is that these days the veil between the dead and the living is very thin, right? So the idea is that your ancestors can come and visit you and actually like eat with you, sit with you, and party with you on Dia de los Muertos as well.
Yeah,
Like
that's true. Like,
they like cross
to
the
be
bridge.
honest, when I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Coco, but
Yeah.
literally, like, this movie for me is so special, and I know that this is really special for a lot of Mexican people that I know, because this is what we were taught growing up, and literally the movie is amazing
Yeah.
because they get to express everything, and like for us it's like so exciting, because Disney did a great job. Like, this is how they taught
Did
us.
they? I was gonna
Yeah,
ask if you felt like it was
yeah, yeah,
accurate.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is how they always
That's
tell us,
good.
like, when is Dia de los Muertos, then they're gonna be coming here, and if we're not here, they're gonna be sad, and we have to put their pictures, and we literally have like,
The
yeah, and
picture.
like all the pictures are always
Yeah.
there, in literally like the last, I was not in Mexico, but they just sent me a picture like 2 weeks ago. No, like, yeah, it just went by, and they had pictures from people that I don't even know, like my grandmother's grandmother, and they still have the pictures, and I was like, wow, like this is amazing, because I know who they are because
Yeah.
of the pictures, and they also talk
That's
about
wonderful.
them.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like
Yeah,
keeping their memory alive by like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. I mean, I feel like that's a popular, I don't know if it's a popular saying, but I've definitely heard it before, that you only die when the last person alive remembers
yeah.
you. So the idea of even
Yeah,
just
yeah. Or
keeping
the
memory
like,
alive keeps you alive. Yeah. Sorry, what were you gonna say,
yeah.
Em?
Oh, the same thing. I was just trying to be helpful, but it's just talking over you by trying to say
No, yeah,
words.
yeah. And marigolds are also very popular for de los Muertos, right? The big yellow
Oh
flowers.
yeah, in Spanish we call them cempasúchil. They're like, you will find them every place around during that month. Like I told you,
They're
in
beautiful.
Mexico, like since Halloween is close by, all October is full of Halloween and Dia de los Muertos stuff, like all around, and it's amazing. To be honest, I was raised in a city that is not as hardcore as some other cities in Mexico. I'm from the north of Mexico, but in the center and in the south, the Dia de los Muertos tradition is even like a bigger deal, like this is what I used to do, and it's like the low, like not as hardcore. Like if you go to the,
It's a
yeah, if
chill.
you go to the center or the south of Mexico, they have like a lot of things going on over there. They will do like the festival of the dead the entire month, kind of like Oktoberfest, and they will have like parades and like everything full of cempasúchil flowers. It's amazing. Like I will, something that I really really want to do once in my life is to get to go to Michoacan. Michoacan is a state, and that's like where this tradition like started in Michoacan. Well, that's how it is known as. And over there in Michoacan, Dia de los Muertos is like, you have to go to Michoacan if you are Dia de los Muertos in Mexico. It's
That
amazing.
sounds
Yeah.
amazing.
Cool.
I want to go. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say it's a road
Road
trip.
trip, road trip.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have so many more questions, but I feel like we should maybe draw a card. What do you think? Did you have
Yeah, I
anything
think it's
else? I
about
mean,
that
there's so
time.
much. Yeah,
I have
go,
one more
go.
question, which is that you were talking way earlier about the class that you're in right now about talking with the dead, or like learning to sort of like do mediumship with the dead and that kind of thing. What is that class? Where is it? Do you love it? How's it going?
Okay, sorry. I didn't understand you the last. Can you repeat? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. What class are you in right now that you were talking about earlier about like learning to work with the dead? Do you have a class that you're currently in or that you just took or like that
Okay,
you were talking about?
this is like
Like a
a
course?
course that I'm taking. It's like probably like 20 classes during the month of November, like one each day, and it's called The Energy of the
Wow.
Dead. And this is our class made for psychic mediums and people that work with energy. And yeah, we're like three people in the class. Like it's like even the person that is giving it, she's telling us that it was hard for her to make it because not a lot of people wanted to take it because talking about death can be uncomfortable for a lot of people. But I'm really glad that I took it. To be honest, I took it because the energy just was like pulling me. I was like, okay, I'll take it,
Mm,
and
Yeah.
it's been a really transformation for me. I just started in like 2 weeks ago, and like every day I get to learn so much new stuff, and it has brought me a lot of transformation. And when you get to talk about this like hard uh, topics that probably, yeah, because almost all
Yeah.
like around our cultures, that has always been like a hard topic, or like
Yeah.
uncomfortable topic to talk about, and being able to address it in such a beautiful way is amazing, because it's just transformation.
Yeah. It sounds like such a great class. Where is it?
No,
Is it in New
actually,
York or is it like
yeah, it's
a
an online
online
thing that
thing?
I'm taking from my teacher in Mexico. She was one of the person that I started with, and she has taught me a lot throughout this year. And when I saw that she was offering this class, I really wanted to take it. And well, right now I'm about to start to create my own classes, and one of the classes that I'm really interested to talk about is about the death as well. Like me right now taking this course, I'm like
Yeah.
thinking how can I create like a master class about this that I have learned, because it's really interesting. And to be honest, I have learned that there is nothing that we have to be afraid from death.
Mm, that's
Mm.
wonderful.
So cool.
Yes, you'll have to keep us.
All right, that was my one
No,
question.
it's
I just
great.
wanted more
Yeah.
details on that class.
You'll have to keep us updated when you launch this new class, Muertos, and we can post about it and share on our socials. And let's draw a card, and then we'll let everyone know after the card how they can reach
Okay,
you.
perfect.
Do you have your tarot
Yeah.
deck handy?
Sure. Let me. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm thinking how is this said in English. Okay. Okay. Is the star?
The star, Estrella.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got the stars.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
amazing! What a good card.
las estrellas.
So what?
And do you use just
Oh yeah,
the?
go
Oh
ahead,
yeah,
Emily.
sorry.
I
Go
was gonna
ahead,
ask the
Kate.
same.
We both keep asking the same
We're asking
things.
the same.
Yeah.
We're on the same page. Emily and I are. I was gonna ask what tarot deck do you use? Can you show us?
Okay. Yeah, I use this one, the Tarot of Marseille. To be
Cool.
honest, I'm just learning about tarot.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a new energy for me, and I know I can channel from tarot as well, but trying to understand the card is still like something that I'm learning. But I have done tarot readings, but I literally just take out the cards and start channeling, and I don't even look a lot up to the cards. But I really want to learn about the symbology behind the cards. But yeah, I got the stars.
Gorgeous. So the
Beautiful.
star is like part of the major arcana, and it's I think it's later in the arcana. I think it's 17. 17. But it's like inspiration, I think, and like hope, faith, sense that you're like on the right path, or like being blessed by the universe right now. It's like a good card. I mean, they're all it's all what's good, what's bad, it's all energy, but like it's a good card.
It's a really good card. Yeah. What, Miros, what is your gut like interpretation of this? I'm so curious about like what you're getting from this card.
Okay, what I get from this card will be that, okay, stars. This card for me represents a healing, because you know how
Mm.
the star
Mm.
is like the open space, and it's like really generous. And I know that this comes after the tower. You know how the tower is like that
Mm.
moment that, like, that you grow
Mm-hmm.
from that moment. So the stars come comes next to the tower. So after you have just this, uh, sorry. Okay, after you come from the tower moment, and you have reinvented yourself and like put all the pieces together, then you get the stars, which is like an openness to your soul. This card
Mm.
also brings a lot of generosity and a lot of unexpected opportunities in your life. How you can see
Mm.
the girl, I'm sorry, and in this card there is a girl that is naked and really vulnerable and open to receive everything that the universe brings to her. So
Mm.
yeah, for me this card will mean right now a lot of inspiration, a lot of hope, a lot of motivation, and a lot of like renovation, a lot of inside like renovation, transformation, and also
Yeah,
serenity,
Yeah, yeah.
pleasure, relief, and a lot of opportunities coming through.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Emily, wait, did you
Yeah,
say, did
totally.
you guess the number 17? Or were you looking it
I
up?
had been looking at
Oh,
stuff earlier.
because
Yeah,
I was like, that's right.
this
You
is.
That's so good. I was so
I
impressed that you remembered the
only
number.
knew that because I literally saw it like 30 minutes ago, or I mean, I guess an hour ago, because now it's 59 minutes into the recorder.
Oh my gosh,
But
that's
like,
so crazy. So you were looking up the
um,
star an hour before we even pulled it.
well, not just the star. I was just looking at
Oh.
the major
Oh,
arcana because
okay.
I was trying to remember. I've been trying to memorize everything, but it's not great.
It's
But yeah, it's because the tower is 16, and the tower
yeah.
even if it feels like the tower plunges you into darkness. Oh, you're in the darkness, and the stars come out.
Yes. Yes, there you go. There you
That's
go.
how I remember.
I will take the star energy any day, especially after this week. Star energy feels really nice right now. Miros, thank you so much. So how can people follow you? How can they, take your classes or book a session with you?
Okay, so you can follow me on Instagram at Miros Green, Miros, and the color green. To be well, right now, all my content is in Spanish, but I also offer one-on-one sessions in English if the people ask me to. I'll definitely do it. You can also follow me on TikTok. I have a big community over there. Almost all of my content is in Spanish. This is what because I am trying to make all of these topics not as a taboo as they usually are in Spanish speaking countries. And when I came to New York, I was trying to do the transition to also like have English content, but then I realized that there are a lot of Spanish speaking people here too. And
Yeah,
there's not a lot of
absolutely.
Oh
people
yeah,
like
totally.
energy workers that speak Spanish, but I'm not close to give sessions in Spanish of like therapy in English or classes in English. This is something that I will definitely would love to do in the future. But yeah, even if you cannot understand what it says, sometimes I try to put some things in English. I try to mix it up.
I think that's great.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows? Maybe some of our listeners are
Yeah,
Spanish
I'm sure
speakers
some
who
of
would really,
our
really, really appreciate that.
yeah, I'm
Like,
sure some of our listeners are fluent in Spanish. It's such a common language, and I love that you're providing that service, especially for the Spanish speaking community. I'm sure there's not a lot of energy, practitioners that cater to that language group. So that's great. I think that's awesome. And what else was I gonna say? Oh my gosh, I'm so scattered because I feel like I have so many things. I'm just so excited. It's so great to get to know you better. Um, and we're so happy to have you. If you want, we're going to post Miros's Instagram on our Instagram, so you can, if you.
oh, and
Oh,
Miros, if you can send us a picture of your card.
yes.
Sorry, just while I'm thinking of it, we'll put that up on Instagram.
Yeah,
as
take a
well.
photo and send it, and we'll post that on our Insta as well. So you can follow us at Witchcast Podcast on Instagram, or shoot us an email at witchcastpodcast@gmail.com. And if you like us, maybe give us a little review, a little rating. It helps more people find us.
Slap a 5-star on it. Why
Yeah,
not? That star could be your sign. Leave a 5-star review.
Emily, you and I are so on the same page. I was thinking the exact same thing. Anything else?
No, I think that's everything. Miros, thanks so much for
Thank
being here and for
you.
joining
Yes.
us and chatting with
I
us.
feel my heart feels full. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me and for inviting me. I feel really special for this. Like I told you, this is the first time I'm at a podcast, and it has always been a dream of mine. And I will never have believed that my first time will be in an English speaking podcast. So that's really like an accomplishment for me. Thank you for trusting in me, and
Of course.
and also thank you for the patience if you didn't understand something because of my accent. But Thank
You
you so
did a
much.
great job. You
No.
honestly, not at all. Oh
No,
my
you're
gosh.
so eloquent. You're so well spoken, and the way you word things is very beautiful, very accessible. So no worries at all.
Yeah, you did a
Thank
great
you
job.
so much.
That's what I was gonna say. You're a crossover hit. You're like Salinas. You're English and Spanish.
Yeah.
You can do it all. And energy has no language,
Yeah.
right? Well, okay. I guess
Well,
that'll do it for this week, and until next time.
Hex yeah!
Cause it's Witchcast.